Hi, my name is Yeqy, and what you're about to see is a drum tutorial for the cover of the song Kannodu Kanbathelam by the band Maatra featuring Roman Arsafes and Anila Rajev. Let's see what's cooking. So, the first fill that we hear after the intro ends goes like this. A little bit slower. And just a little bit more slowly. Let's see what happens after that. So the intro riff is something that in Serbia we call a rumba beat. But in this instance, the snare goes on the 1. So it goes like this. Let me play it a little bit slower for you. I just love this China cymbal. Let's see what's next. The first half of the verse has basically no drums, except for the right cymbal that plays that dotted 8 rumba type stuff that's prevalent through the whole song. Goes something like this. I honestly can't replicate the exact same thing because most of this was improvised except for a few parts. After that, it goes into the same feel, same groove, just on the floor tom. The main thing is, again, that dotted 8 rumba feel, and the kick drum plays half notes. So it's a little bit relaxed, kind of anticipating what's about to happen. And, of course, the China cymbal going along with the guitar. And the lift on the floor tom and the snare drum with the double kick before the main snare that announces the next riff. Goes like this. The main riff, where the melody goes, is something that is called a tropical rumba in Serbia. So it's a thing where you play the dotted 8th between the kick and the snare, but you drive the whole band and the whole music with the China cymbal. In this instance, it's 8th notes. Here's how it goes. And there I went straight into the verse, which is almost the same, but there's less snare drum. because we need to leave some space for the vocals, which are always the main thing in the song. So, what you can hear is something that I really, really love doing, is following along and making as much noise as I need to. So in the first part of the riff, where the guitars are chugging, no open strings, no open chords, I'm playing the closed hi-hat. And the second part of the riff, where the guitars go wide open, I open the hi-hat to support the amount of sound that happens. And it's something I really, really like doing. The thing that I try to accomplish there is to follow with the scene of the story. Here's how it sounds. And of course, I love me some Van Halen type drum fills, so here's just a quickie how that goes. Once again, a little bit slower. And again, I hit the one on the snare and the china because the next riff is also something similar to the first riff, which is, again, the dotted eighth note rumba, but with the snare playing the main notes. So we have the variation on the first riff, and we have some breaks, some space for some drum fills. Here's how I try to fit it all in. The last fill that leads into the next riff is kind of a bit tricky, so let me spend some time on it for you. Here's that last riff a little bit slower. And a little bit more slowly. So the next groove is halftime, but we still have that dotted eighth note groove on the kick drum binding the whole song together. And I'm driving the whole scene on the ride cymbal. Here's how it goes. So after this halftime feel, we go into the rumba common time with the stack cymbal, and after that we go into the actual chorus of the song. Let's see what comes next. After the chorus, we go into the tropical rumba type thing with the China cymbal and the do, gosh, gosh, do, whatever. And after that, there's a break, which I take advantage of the break to play a one-handed fill, which is, again, not that complicated, but it's all of those things are about placing them in the right spots. Here's how it goes. Let me do it again a little bit slower. And again, a little bit more slowly. The second verse has a break in it, leaving space for me to play something along with the singing. Again, the dotted eighth note rumba type feel, kind of mimicking a timbale or a rototom or something to that effect, making it a little bit more percussion-y. Here's how it goes. Again, the verse has that change of scenes where I play the closed hi-hat and then the open hi-hat, going along with the guitars. In the second part of the verse, I seize the opportunity to play some six-stroke rolls that go along perfectly with that rumba feel. Let me show you how it goes. Once again, a little bit slower. And again, just a little bit slower. I forgot the last fill. Let me check how it goes. The last fill lasts longer because it starts on the crashes and the snare and goes into that Mike Portnoy type of thing with 2 hands or 4 hands, 2 feet, that type of thing. Once again, a little bit slower. And just a little bit more slowly. Let's see what happens next. So we have 2 fills here, one in the middle and one at the end. The one in the middle is basically the same as the first one. It just has a little extra foot in it. Here's how it goes. A little bit more slowly. And a little bit more slowly. To be honest, I think I did it in the original with 2 feet, but now it's 1 foot, so happens. And the next fill, the last fill in this pre-chorus is the last fill in this riff is similar again to the first fill, but it's a little bit orchestrated differently. Let's hear how it goes. Again, a little bit slower. And again, just a little bit slower. Yeah, so here's a neat thing. The pre-chorus before the actual chorus has a break. And at least here it does. So what I like to do is I like to use a lot of dynamics with the double bass pedal, with the bass drum in general. And this is like a nice little crescendo leading up to the break. Again, a little bit slower. And a little bit more slowly. After that, we have again the chorus, and then we have something new. And of course, we have some fills here. So the first fill at the middle of the chorus, because it's a double chorus, so we have to do something fancy in the middle of it, is what people call triplets, but they're not triplets. It's in this case, it's a 16th note followed by two 32nd notes. So this is how it goes. And I like to do these alternating. So it's not just the right hand leading, it's alternating. It's one is driven by the left, one is driven by the right, and one is driven by the left. Here's how it goes. Slower. Slower. And the fill after that is a little bit more complicated, so let's hear it again. Did anybody say slower? Slower! Let's see what happens next. So beside the cuteness overload with the cats, that fill is by far the most complicated in the song. So let me hear it again. Yes, I will play this slower. And I will try to play it more slowly just because it's important. In tempo. Let's see what's next. So this whole part is again not triplets. It's 60 note followed by two 32nd notes. So here's how it goes. Did someone say slower? I will try my best to play this more slowly. As you can see, I again play these triplet-esque, these non-triplets alternating. So it's not, it's the right leads once and the left leads once. I discovered that it's a little bit more challenging in the coordination sense, but it's a lot more easier for me to play that in terms of stamina, because I tend to like rest, and I tend to keep my legs on the floor more of the time. So that's a tip.
Kannodu Kanbathelam Anila
So there's one semi-tricky fill. And let me explain my philosophy in terms of like these type of fills. It's like the last chorus is the biggest thing, the biggest event in the song, the last scene of the story, if you will. So we need to play big sounding things. So that doesn't correlate a lot with like playing too many notes. So in playing these triplets, I do add some excitement with like a bunch of stuff that's being played, but I like to make them sound big, and it's a thing that the kick drum always sounds the biggest to me. Whatever the genre, whatever the situation, the kick drum is the biggest thing in the drum set, both physically and sonically. So instead of playing like just like semi-random triplets all over the set like this, which I'll admit that has a lot of color to it, like a lot of nice low mid color that just paints a little gentle thing over that part. But when I add the bass drum, it adds a little bit of heaviness, at least to me. So, and yeah, all of the adjectives that I'm using, those are like simply my interpretations of how I feel when I listen to stuff. So these are not rules. This is how I trip out on the music. And here's the fill. And a little bit slower. Slower! And in tempo. If you have time and you're interested, you can try and swapping the voices, swapping the, like orchestrating it a little bit differently, swapping the sticking. Mainly just have fun with it. And after that, that's the end of the song. Of course, the big flam at the end. Flams are always like, you can do a lot with a flam. There are a couple of songs where there are basically no fills, and the only fill that happens is like a flam right before the chorus. So those are fun. You can use them wherever you want. Okay, so hope this was fun. Hope this was informative. If you have any more questions about some of the stuff that you've seen in the Kannodu Kanbathelam cover from our band Maatra, featuring Arsafes and Anila Rajev, feel free to leave those comments in the comment section. Follow me, stalk me, subscribe, send me Cash, follow me, follow Arsafes, follow Anila. I'll leave their stuff in the description. Leave any comments in the comment section. Send us song requests. We will be putting out another song, another cover. So stay tuned to our channel and stay tuned to my channel because, of course, the drum playthrough will be on my channel. So see you soon.